Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Monday, December 29th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Washington Department of Transportation began daylight pilot car operations today for a portion of Highway 2 to guide alternating one-way traffic between Stevens Pass Resort and Mill Creek Road. Chelan County failed to hand over its required annual financial report to the Washington State Auditor's Office. There's an air stagnation advisory in place through New Year's Eve, with more wet weather coming our way by the end of the week. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A water main broke Monday morning on Wenatchee main downtown street, sending water onto the roadway and forcing street closures. Emergency services responded to the call at 9:52 a.m. to the 500 block of North Wenatchee Avenue, where a 10-inch cast iron water main ruptured. Wenatchee Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld said a portion of the avenue from 5th Street to 7th Street would remain closed at least through the day. The supervisor of the city's water department, William Weems, says businesses supplied by the affected main will be without water unless service can be rerouted from another source. The cause and extent of the damage weren't immediately clear. The city said a repair could be in place by this evening. The Washington Department of Transportation began daylight pilot car operations today for a portion of Highway 2 to guide alternating one-way traffic between Stevens Pass Resort at milepost 64 and Mill Creek Road at milepost 71. Pilot car operations will run from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily as conditions allow. WashDOT says Stevens Pass will also reopen from milepost 71 to Coles Corner at milepost 85 each day during those same hours, though this section will not have a pilot car. Highway 2 at Tumwater Canyon remains closed from Leavenworth at milepost 99 to east of Coles Corner. Repairs began on this area on December 23rd, but WashDOT estimates it will be closed through mid-March. The detour to access the open portion of Highway 2 is Chumstick Highway, a rural county road with lower speeds and bridge restrictions that runs between Leavenworth and Coles Corner. Chelan County Commissioner Chair Sean Smith spoke about the impact of Chumstick Highway during today's meeting.
Yes, it is painful. Yes, that additional traffic is tough, but running 24/7 right now will certainly shorten up the repair period. It's going to be painful for this period, but we will work with the DOT to do what we can for speed reduction and for reminding those people that are traveling to Stevens Pass ski area that this is a neighborhood, this is a place that people live, and we'd appreciate it if they observed our laws and observed the way that we drive on that road. And please slow it down. This additional construction traffic is going to be, a bother for a while.
Governor Bob Ferguson's office is considering a fact-finding trip to Chelan County to assess flood and windstorm damage from this month's atmospheric river event. Western Washington counties were hardest hit by the storms that began December 10th, but Chelan County also suffered impacts, including days-long blackouts and rising water that trapped some people in their homes. Chelan County Commissioner Brad Hawkins said today he's heard from the governor's staff about arranging a visit to northern and western areas of the county that were most affected. No plans have yet been confirmed. NCWLIFE News reached out today to Ferguson's office but had not received a reply as of this newscast. The storms of early December continue to have an effect on the region. The Washington State Geological Survey says it's mapped an estimated 73 landslides around the state that are linked to the atmospheric river events that started December 10th. 10 of those are in Chelan County, including the slides that damaged infrastructure in the village of Stehekin and cut off Holden Village from its boat landing. The geologic team says these storms were historically intense, delivering far above normal rainfall to slopes and rivers. The areas most at risk are downhill from known wildfire scars like the Stehekin Valley, where the ground is highly prone to sudden erosion. You can find the state's landslide maps on the Washington Department of Natural Resources website. When we come back, Chelan County failed to hand over its required annual financial report to the Washington State Auditor's Office, and Washington State has launched a guide for residents to find information on financial and recovery resources after the historic flood emergency earlier this month. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office and Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Chelan County failed to hand over its required annual financial reports to the Washington State Auditor's Office. That's the finding in a new audit issued last week by State Auditor Pat McCarthy. Washington law requires counties to submit an annual report with accurate, summarized financial information within 150 days after the end of its fiscal year. Chelan County filed its 2023 annual report 398 days late. The audit finds that due to staff turnover, county leadership did not dedicate the necessary resources to submit the report on time and did not respond to the state's office to provide support and training. The county says those positions are now fully staffed, and it's committed to meeting the deadlines for financial reporting starting this year. The county operates an annual budget of about $120 million with about 375 employees. Washington State has launched a guide for residents to find information on financial and recovery resources for the historic flood emergency earlier this month. The guide can be found on the Washington State's wa.gov site and provides information about cash, food, and housing assistance. Additionally, it offers flood cleanup tips and county-by-county guide for residents impacted by the storms. In Chelan County, businesses and residents have been asked to complete a damage assessment with the hope that FEMA will approve financial assistance for individuals. A link to the damage assessment can be found on the county's website. The Wenatchee Public Library and the North Central Washington Tech Alliance are partnering up to help the community feel more confident with technology. Beginning next Tuesday, the library will offer free in-person tech help sessions guided by a local tech professional. Assistance is intended for smartphones, tablets, and laptops, and individual sessions are ideal for adults or older adults who are seeking support. Participants can get help with learning basic functions, getting started with email or other apps, and troubleshooting common issues like slow devices, notifications, or connectivity. 30-minute appointments can be scheduled on the North Central Library's website and will run weekly through April. Coming up next at the end of each year, our news team looks back to find the stories that made the past 12 months unique and unforgettable. In tonight's feature story, we look back at the top news stories from the first 4 months of 2025. An air stagnation advisory is in place for our area through New Year's Eve. I'll have your local weather details coming up, followed by Eric Granstrom with all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan.
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
You know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
At the end of each year, our news team looks back to find the stories that made the past 12 months unique and unforgettable. 2025 was a year of hardships for many, while others were able to rise to the many challenges it offered. We'll review the year in 3 special reports tonight through New Year's Eve. Here's part 1, looking back on January through April of 2025.
January of 2025 started off with Chelan County authorities tracking down a driver who was caught on video spinning donuts in Leavenworth's Front Street Park just 2 days before Christmas. 28-year-old Zachary Soltis of Texas was charged with malicious mischief and misdemeanor reckless driving for doing an estimated $15,000 worth of damage to the downtown park. He was identified from video footage and witness testimony. Soltis eventually pleaded guilty to second-degree malicious mischief and was sentenced in November to 20 days in jail, plus restitution and community service. The Wenatchee City Council got back to its full 7 members with the appointment of educator Mayra Navarro Gomez in January. Gomez is a teacher at St. Joseph Catholic School and was previously an administrator for the Eastmont School District. She filled the at-large seat left behind by Keith Huffaker, who resigned from the council in December 2024 with a year left on his term. The Wenatchee School District announced plans to move the Valley Academy of Learning into the former Columbia Elementary School building. Superintendent Corey Callahar said Valley Academy, which supports 220 full or part-time students, was outgrowing its space on Wenatchee Avenue, and he predicted the Columbia site could allow increased enrollment to 250 students in the new school year. Columbia Elementary had sat closed since 2024. The move for Valley Academy became official with the start of classes in September. Local firefighters from Wenatchee and Chelan signed up to help the greater Los Angeles area as it battled devastating winter wildfires. More than 180,000 people were forced to flee their homes. Wenatchee Valley Fire and Chelan Fire and Rescue joined up with departments from Washington State to assist California. Captain Taylor Rains and firefighters Brandon Fogelson, Stephanie Preheim, and Duke Odenreiter headed to California from Chelan. From Wenatchee, firefighters Sean Clark, George Ramos, Cole Clark, and Jordan Kuntz contributed their efforts around Los Angeles. In February, a Toyota collided head-on with a Northwestern charter bus on Highway 28 near Rock Island, killing 4 people and injuring 7. The 2 occupants of the Camry, both 17-year-olds from East Wenatchee, were dead at the scene, along with the bus driver and a passenger. Highway 28 was fully closed until midnight that night and closed again the following morning for follow-up investigation. Federal employees protested the deep staffing cuts put forward by the Trump administration, which led to 40 local staffers in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest being told their jobs were gone. Hundreds of people gathered in Wenatchee's Memorial Park to protest the move and show their support. The local cuts were among 3,400 U.S. Forest Service job losses nationwide. Some in those positions were later restored, but other reductions in force went into effect as the year went on. Wenatchee School District Superintendent Corey Callahar was fined $600 by the state's Public Disclosure Commission over his response to a 2023 political mailer that encouraged voters not to retain sitting school board members. In emails to district staff, Callahar referred to the newspaper-style mailer The Wenatchee Record as political propaganda. The PDC said that amounted to using school district resources for political activity. WSD Communications Director Diana Hagland was also issued a warning from the PDC for creating a Facebook post that accused the mailer's authors of using false narratives and misleading headlines. A midweek showing of Captain America: Brave New World on the 25th was interrupted when the ceiling collapsed in the main auditorium of the historic Liberty Cinemas. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department said the collapse was reported at 8:10 p.m. Dropping rubble on the front row and the apron of the theater, 2 people were inside the theater at the time but were not injured. The incident quickly went viral, and Sun Basin Cinemas, which owns the Liberty and Gateway theaters, closed the main Liberty Auditorium until repairs on the historic building could be completed. The Liberty's main hall was built in 1919. In March of this year, the city of Wenatchee launched a legal dispute with Chelan County over access to its jail, saying the Chelan County Regional Justice Center was arbitrarily refusing to book some inmates brought in by city police on low-level offenses. The county acted to terminate its contract with the city, but in August, Judge Travis Brandt ruled that the jail must continue to house the city's detainees while the suit goes forward. The county has appealed that ruling to a higher court. A final decision is yet to be reached. A Waterville woman, known as an accomplished pilot, was killed this month in a small airplane crash in Kittitas County. The plane carrying 70-year-old Susan J. Johnson was originally declared missing after it vanished from radar while flying from Yakima to Chelan. A search ensued until the crash site was discovered on Whiskey Dick Mountain. Johnson was a former neonatal intensive care nurse. As of December, aviation authorities are still looking into the precise cause of that crash. The W.T. Clark Pipeline Bridge, which has carried bike and pedestrian traffic across the Columbia for more than a century, closed down in March and will remain that way for the next year. The bridge is a nexus for the South End Bike and Pedestrian Project, which will allow greater access from South Wenatchee to the Apple Capitol Loop Trail. The city began demolishing the bridge on-ramp in June. Once the full project is complete, the bridge will reopen with an expected date of November 2026. In April, Kashmir High School senior Kate Jacobson won a court ruling that she was eligible for valedictorian status at her graduation. Jacobson had launched her lawsuit against the school district in February for denying her the honor. She was a 4.0 full-time Running Start student, but was not officially enrolled at the high school until her senior year. So the district said she was ineligible to be valedictorian. But because the district had no written policy on the matter, a Chelan County judge ruled in her favor. Kate went on to enroll at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, with the valedictorian honor under her belt. 4 Wenatchee Valley police officers were exonerated for discharging their weapons at a man who'd rammed the Wenatchee VA clinic with his truck and fired shots into the building with a handgun. Douglas County prosecutor Gordon Edgar found there was no criminal case against the officers who wounded the 54-year-old suspect, a veteran who was in the grip of a mental health crisis at the time. After his arrest, he pleaded guilty to property damage and firearms charges and was sentenced to probation and mental health treatment. First responders traveled through the Wenatchee streets in a procession of honor for a career firefighter. Assistant Fire Chief Darren Radcliffe died in April at the age of 57. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department, where he served for more than 20 years, organized the procession. About 40 emergency vehicles from jurisdictions throughout the area were involved. Fire Chief Brian Brett called Radcliffe a wonderful community servant. A lawsuit against a deputy prosecutor in Chelan County came to an end after she admitted to misusing a powerful search tool available only to law enforcement. Michaela Meadows improperly used the database known as Spillman to look up personal information on coworkers and defense attorneys. The Washington State Patrol investigated and found that Meadows had violated administrative standards but had not committed a crime. A coworker who filed a federal lawsuit over Meadows' activity withdrew that legal action, saying he feared a countersuit.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas with your friends and family and had a great weekend too. A little bit wet to start the weekend, but not a bad finish to it. And today wasn't too bad either. We saw a mix of clouds and sun out there. Beautiful wider shot from our tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights. And you can see that some grayer clouds did move in about mid-afternoon, but early part of the day we did see some sunshine. What we will see is air stagnation. We have an air stagnation advisory in place now through New Year's Eve to about noon on New Year's Day. It's when cold air gets trapped under warm air, and we are going to see just calm winds. The sun angle is very low, so it traps all those pollutants down at the surface. So if you are sensitive to that kind of thing, might want to stay indoors the next couple of days until this air stagnation passes. Today, not that warm. In fact, we were a degree below normal at 31 unofficially, 32 is normal, 25 this morning, 23 is our normal low temperature. Did pick up some more moisture. We're now at 7.16 inches for the year, and that's just a half inch behind where we should be. Sunrise 7:48 and the sun set this afternoon at 4:18. All right, tomorrow's temperatures a little bit warmer than today, especially in areas of the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake and Ephrata at 37, Wenatchee 33, and that goes all the way up into Omak at 33 tomorrow. Leavenworth, your high temperature, as well as Kashmir at 32 degrees. All right, tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies. 3 areas of high pressure are dotting our western map, and that's going to keep our weather pretty stable and very calm. We're going to see a lot of this gray, just some high clouds out there. It's going to be chilly tonight with low temperatures around 20 degrees. For Tuesday, a ridge of high pressure up and over the Pacific Northwest. Mostly sunny skies, but not that warm. We'll stay seasonal on Tuesday with high temperatures about where we should see them in the low 30s. And then Wednesday for your New Year's Eve, mostly sunny skies. Look at that statewide. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will warm up just a little bit on New Year's Eve. We're talking mid-30s for highs, so around midnight it's going to be a little bit chilly. New Year's Day, cloudy skies is our next area of storminess. Whip some clouds and some moisture our way. At least a 50% chance for rain mixed with snow on New Year's Day, with high temperatures in the mid-30s to kick off 2026. And then by Friday, that area of low pressure slides just a little bit north, and that will still bring some moisture into Washington State. We'll have about a 40% chance of the wet stuff on Friday, with highs staying consistently into those mid-30s. And then as we get you into the upcoming weekend, one storm moves up into Canada, and here's another area of low pressure we're keeping our eye on. But as this system moves across Canada, it's still going to drag some showers with it on Saturday, a 40% chance for rain and snow, but a little bit warmer, upper 30s for Saturday. By Sunday, high pressure is still in control of our weather, and a great shot of that ridge up and over us. We will see mostly cloudy skies to end our weekend, with high temperatures slightly above normal into the mid-30s. All right, time now for your 7-day forecast, brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Chilly overnight tonight, to say the least. 21 our overnight low. Mostly sunny then on Tuesday and Wednesday, with highs generally in the low to mid 30s. Rain showers then for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Mid 30s pretty much our highs. And then by the end of our forecast on Sunday, mostly cloudy with a high then of 36. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Well, a good Monday to you. The Seahawks overcame another sluggish first half offensively to beat the Panthers on the road yesterday. 27-10 the final. The teams went into the locker room at halftime tied at 3-3. Offense finally got going after a couple of turnovers forced by the defense as Seattle went on for its 13th win of the season, tying a franchise record for wins in a single season. Coach Mike McDonald's Seahawks are now 9-1 on the road in 2 seasons.
Great. Look, it was a great win by our guys. I feel like it's the same story every week, but we didn't flinch. The big emphasis this week was can we stack plays in all 3 phases? It took us a half to do it, but I felt like in the second half we did a great job by responding to the takeaway. DeMarcus Lawrence had a phenomenal play. Then we were able to punch it in. A.J. Barner was really a spark plug for us on offense.
Sam Darnold did have another interception and a fumble in the win. Seattle will go for the NFC West title and number 1 overall seed in the NFC Saturday night at San Francisco. The Niners held on to edge Chicago last night, 42-38. The Rams will play at Atlanta tonight on Monday Night Football. While Seattle's 13-3 this season, Arizona dropped to 3-13 with a 37-14 loss at Cincinnati. Well, the Kraken kept their current winning streak alive with a 4-1 decision over Philadelphia last night at Climate Pledge Arena. After a scoreless first period, Jordan Eberle put Seattle on top 1-0, and the Kraken added to it to support Philip Grubauer for the win.
Yeah, really important. I thought for the most part, we talked about it this morning about how there's potential for a little bit sloppiness or whatever. I thought if we were sloppy at times, although I didn't think we were that sloppy, our goaltender played great for us, and that's what you need. But overall, I liked our team game. I liked the way we're playing for each other, and I thought that our structure for the most part was pretty good.
Yeah, the first game after the break is always a little bit scrambly, but unbelievable job tonight. You got to keep building, keep doing the right things. Before the road trip there, we played pretty great and didn't get the bounces sometimes and didn't get the outcome we wanted. And now we found a way to be successful in certain areas. Yeah.
Gruby was awesome for us to make huge saves. Our PK was great tonight. We didn't give him too much, but when we did, obviously Gruby was there to back us up. So, kudos to him. And obviously we need to come out with the same effort tomorrow.
Yeah, these games after the break, sometimes they're, you're a little lethargic, but we don't really have the option to not play well. The standings are what they are. We got to find a way to climb, and we've done that as of late. We got another chance tomorrow. It's pretty tight, so we got to keep going.
Seattle turns right around to host Vancouver tonight. That'll be at 7 o'clock on Prime Video and Kong TV. WSU and Gonzaga each posted wins in men's college basketball on Sunday. The Cougars were led by the 13 points of Rahard Favors in a 67-62 win over Portland. Braden Smith and Davis Fogel each had 15 points apiece to lead number 7 Gonzaga over Pepperdine 96-56. The Washington State women won their WCC conference opener over Pepperdine 66-63 as Eleonora Vila led the way with 17 points. Allie Turner had 20 points while Lauren Whitaker had 18 to push Gonzaga over Loyola Marymount 87-80. The Wenatchee Wild split a home-and-home series with Spokane over the weekend in Western Hockey League play. Wild had a 3-goal outburst in the third period in Spokane Saturday to pull out a 5-4 win. The two teams played again Sunday, this time in Wenatchee, with Spokane getting the game winner with 0.6 seconds left in regulation. Wenatchee's off until Wednesday when they'll host Seattle at 5 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. We'll get a recap of the weekend and preview of the T-Birds tomorrow morning with Austin Drade on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Monday.
And that will do it for this Monday edition of the NCW Life Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.